Thank you so much, Willie, for helping us out. Appreciate you. And thank Mary too, because she's the one that tracked you down, right? She's like a scout. She tracked you down for us.
She asked me if I'd do a testimony on this call at a half an hour before it started, and it was a half an hour from where I was to get home. So I made it.
Yeah, I know. I was interviewing Debbie and texted you and you said, I just walked in the door. So I'm like, okay, this is pulling rabbits out of a hat. But your testimonial is amazing from the photographs that I saw. So share with me what happened there. What, was that an injury or what happened?
No, for about 20 years, I had a fatty deposit on my back, pretty close upper shoulder, and it was about 3 inches diameter, kind of like a flying saucer, like a disc. It didn't protrude a lot, but I had gone to 2 doctors and a dermatologist, and they all said, oh, don't worry about it. It's fatty deposit. It's too close to your spine for us to just go in there and dig it out. So I didn't worry about it. And my sister Mary had these X39s, and I said, well, what would happen if I just put them on that? And she says, I don't know, try it. So it was about 3 inches diameter, and you could feel it like put your hand over, it was like a softball. That picture right there is that's healing up.
You're right.
And,
okay, hold on. Let me get that other one.
Yeah, so that's actually, and it probably looks better than that now too, Willie, right? I mean, that closed up, right?
That's all closed up, but it's a divot. There's no red or anything, but it's a hole now instead of a protrusion.
Can you see can you see the other picture now?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, really, I saw the other pictures and they were like, Mount St. Helen compared to this thing.
Oh,
I mean, this is looking good now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you
see that?
Can you see it now?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
So what I did is I put the patch right on it. And after about 2 weeks, it was so painful, I couldn't put a patch on it. So I didn't have anybody to confer with. So I called up Mary and I said, I think I need to go see a doctor. This really is painful. I can't touch it.
Yeah.
With anything. So I didn't do that to the doctor. I just moved the patch over where I'm supposed to put it on the spinal area. And that became more painful and more painful. I could not even lay on my back or sit on my back. And then all of a sudden it was my girlfriend is a RN, and she'd never seen anything like that ever occur. It just kept on releasing these 20 years of fatty deposit. And it wasn't right. It was fairly painful, but she would help me with squeezing it out and then putting some dressing on it every day for about 2 weeks.
Willie, though. Yeah. So wait, so what's the time frame on this whole thing here?
Well, it was about 2 weeks when it became very painful and I couldn't put a patch on it. And it was like a big giant, you saw that one picture, a big giant blackhead almost on it, and the skin started to come apart. And then for about, it seems like the next 2 weeks, it just kept on releasing and releasing until it didn't do it anymore. And then it started a heal up stage.
So from beginning to end, are we talking about a month?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so now it's even better than that.
Oh, yeah.
There's just a divot there now.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 5 weeks from start to finish to heal up?
Oh, to heal up took a lot longer to finally heal up. It seemed like it was tender for a couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole big outer circle there is filled with that fatty deposit, and it just kept on working its way to openings. It was, you know, my
And so
nurse.
Willie, that wasn't an old trauma injury or nothing like that?
No, it was, you wouldn't even, it wasn't discolored at all to begin with. It was, and like I said, I had 2 doctors and a dermatologist look at it, and they said, just, don't worry about it. It's a fatty deposit. And,
Wow, even the dermatologist said that. Incredible.
yeah. And I
You know
wanted
what
to
it
keep
proves?
worrying about it. It was, when I wore a shirt, I mean, you could see that there was a lump on my shoulder, you know.
Right, right.
But since
What it
then,
proves to me, Willie, is that, yeah, go ahead.
well, I have, at work, I do a lot of work with my arms and a lot of repetitive things with a drill constantly. And
Yeah.
my right elbow and shoulder were in terrible pain. Almost couldn't hold a drill anymore. And I started using these patches on my shoulder, both shoulders, the glutathione and the X39 in the spot.
Okay.
And I don't know, it wasn't overnight, but after maybe 3 months, and I kept working, I never stopped working. And the pain is completely gone. The pain is completely gone. And that has never gone away for years. So
that proves to me again that the human body wants to be 100%. And if you give it the right tools, even though other doctors said leave it alone, obviously from those pictures, the body did not want to leave it alone. It wanted it out.
yeah,
It wanted it
not
out.
very thankful.
And so it found a way to get it out. Right?
Right.
And so now going forward, anything else that was crock potting in there, brewing in there, between your X39 and your glutathione, possibly think about using Alavita patch too, since it's good for skin, right? Anything else that was brewing in there, we just put that fire out, okay? And so that you never have to go through something like that again. Willie, thank you so much for coming on like that at the last minute. You probably haven't even had dinner yet. Thank you very much. We appreciate you a lot.
You're so welcome. It's amazing. I'm just thrilled. I'll never start a day without these.
Also say thank you to Mary too. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
She's the one that tracked you down. Dr.
Yeah,
Herman
thank you so much, Will.
is going to explain to us how these amazing little Band-Aids work, because what happened to Debbie, what happened to Willie, and the hundreds of others that come on here, we kind of need to know how that works.
Okay, well, thank you. And thank you, Will, and thank you, Debbie. We really appreciate you coming on. So I get to share a little bit of the science behind this, how this works, which is always really exciting to me. I love talking about it. We're talking about the X39. Let me just show you what it looks like if you haven't seen one. It's like a little Band-Aid. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but I'm telling you, it's very powerful what it does to the body, as you saw by those pictures. And I'll explain a little bit why that happened like that. Well, it's called the X39, and a man named David Schmidt founded a company 15 years ago called LifeWave. And he developed, and I have a hard time even thinking how somebody can think this up, but he did. He thought, if I combine these substances in this little patch-like thing, they will form their own type of crystal structure. And then I'm going to place this on the body to reflect and concentrate certain frequencies already being emitted by our own bodies. They're called biophotons, far infrared, near infrared, that's heat. So he figured out what substances to put in that patch that would reflect back the proper frequencies to do a certain thing in the body. This one happens to turn on factory that we have inside of us that produces a substance called the GHK copper peptide. GHK copper peptide, it's not toxic because it has a copper ion in it, but that acts like a switch in our body. Our body uses it to repair up to 4,200 of our genes. That GHK copper peptide also is essential in repairing collagen, speeding collagen repair. But here's the thing that was important for Will: destroying cartilage where needed. So he had this capsule, the scar. You saw the holes. That was the GHK copper peptide doing the opposite thing that it needed to do in other areas, and that was build collagen. He needed to destroy some collagen and let that stuff get out. It's so mind-boggling to think about how intelligent the body is once it has everything it needs to fix things. So there are a lot of other things that GHK copper peptide does. I suggest you go to the man's website who discovered it in 1973, and just by the name of this website, you will know some of the things that this peptide does. The name of his website, this is the man who discovered it, Reverse Aging with GHK. So there are all kinds of wonderful anti-aging things that happen when you have an increase in that peptide. And this is what this patch does. But the thing that we talk about the most, and this is why we call it the stem cell activating patch, is that the GHK copper peptide activates our body's ability to make what are called pluripotent stem cells, P-L-U-R-I, potent stem cells. What are those? They are the fix-it crew. They can become any cell. They can become a bone cell, a skin cell, a liver cell. Wherever you need cells, they can become that. So imagine, just for a second, if your body all of a sudden had all of these baby stem cells that are floating around your body looking for things to fix. I'm going to fix this. This has been going on for way too long. Hey, let's fix this bone, or regenerate your liver, or restore your bone density to the proper density, regrow your hair, turn your gray hair brown. That's what's happening with me. It used to be a lot grayer. So these are some of the things that happen when you put that patch on. But two of the most important things I think are really important to remember, and they have to do with the brain and the heart. There was a brain study done using these patches. They did EEGs. It's what I do in my office, electroencephalograms. We look at where the electrical activity in the brain may be dysregulated. It's doing things wrong. There's either too much or too little activity, and this is where we get symptoms. And they had people, we got a base reading, they got a base reading, and then had people wear these patches for 6 weeks. And after 6 weeks, there was better brain regulation. It's called coherence. And so coherence, you don't want to have too much activity on one side or the other, or front or back, because that's where symptoms arise. Anxiety, depression, OCD, ADHD, ADD, all of those things. So they had better coherence after only 6 weeks. There's nothing more important than our brain. How are we going to live our best life if we don't have our brain? You're going to be meeting a new person every 15 minutes when you get old. The other one was done on organ function. One of the things in that organ function study, they measured all kinds of took all kinds of energetic measurements of the organs. After 6 weeks of wearing the patch, the age of the cardiovascular system reversed by a day and a third. For every day they wore that patch, the cardiovascular system reversed by a day and a third. So I got to tell you how you can get these. You can either purchase one time get with the person who invited you here. It's $149.95 to purchase 1 month supply, or you can do what we think is a better choice, and that is to go as a preferred customer. You get wholesale pricing at $99.95, and you get some special perks and bonuses associated with that, including free product. There's another way you can do it. If what we are telling you tonight resonates with you and you want to join with us, I mentioned we're helping people live out, be their best self. I call it living out their life's fullest expression. And so if that resonates with you, join with us. And if you would like to do that, then you can enroll in the company. And what does that mean? 1 month supply looks like this. And if you enroll in the company, you can enroll with as little as $25. That doesn't include any product, but you can also get various kits that include increasing amounts of products, anywhere from 1 month supply for $124.95, including the $25 fee, or you can enroll at a larger kit. There's one that has 3 sleeves. We call that the silver pack. That gives you, some for you, maybe some for a partner, and some to share. I like the gold pack. That gives you 5, because I want to tell you, everybody you talk to is going to want to try these. And that's how we do this. So however you decide, get some of these patches on your body and increase your GHK copper peptide, increase your stem cells. If what we say sounds good about teaching people how they can heal their own body with their own energy reflected back into their body, get with that person who invited you here. We have these almost every day at some point where you can join in again and invite others. So we'll see you tomorrow night if you tune back in. We'd love to have you join with us. Thanks so much. Thank you for the people who did the testimonials, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.